Hey, what's going on, everybody? Uh, so bear with me for a little while now. I've been having a few technical difficulties with my computer setup. My connection seems a little unstable today. I've got an issue that doesn't allow me to run my green screen, so I don't have my pretty little backgrounds and stuff like that. But I don't. At the end of the day, I don't think anybody really cares so much about that, except for me. I just like the way that it looks, and I like the way that it presents itself. Hey, just so you guys know, tonight's going to be an outstanding show. We're going to get to hang out with Mike from Metal Detecting North Carolina here in just a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and grab my co-host partner in crime for the time being, Mr. Practical Ken, and we're going to talk for a second or two today. What's up, Mr. Ken? How you doing, my brother?
How you doing?
I'm doing well. You know, you did cross your 500 subscriber mark, did you not?
I was up to 506, and as I was discussing it, dropped down to 500 even. So we'll see how the night goes.
Okay, am I still here? I see on the screen over here that I'm black. Am I there, guys? My
You're not
camera's not
visible.
on. Why is my camera not on? Can you hear me?
Do you got the cover over it?
No, I'm looking on YouTube. Can everybody still hear me though? That's the question.
5x5.
Can you hear me, Ken?
Yep.
All right.
5x5.
Let's see. Hello, Shane group. Just no audio. Can't see you, dude. Oh my God. Let's see.
I can see that. I can see your logo.
Okay, 1 second. I'm not sure what I'm going to be able to. Okay, that comes on. I start my camera back up, and let's see if it goes back black.
Back black.
Hey, you know, all things considered, I hate to do it that way, but if I can't run my camera, I'm still going to go ahead and run my stream today. Let me make sure there's no setting in my camera that I can change here. But I have been having some problems, and I had to order a new computer today, so I'm not really sure what's going on, and I'm not going to close it down for that. So really
So they're only going to
fast.
see my pretty face.
So Ken, they're gonna get a lot of you.
Sorry, everybody.
No worries. If they can see me, I'm definitely smiling. I do not know what's going on here. Yeah, this is really good. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave it as is. I'm going to turn the camera off so I can have my logo up there. At least I can see my audio is working fine. Well, I apologize, everybody, but yeah, no doubt. I'll just keep it. I keep it going. I ain't stopping for nobody. I do apologize, but anyway, back to that. Everybody, take a moment to congratulate Mr. Ken. He has passed 500 subscribers, and that is a big monumental mark for everybody to get there, even if YouTube takes a few away. So, I'm really happy for him on that. He's halfway to that big number, and everything's going pretty well with your channel, sir.
Going great. I'm having a blast. I love putting out the videos and sharing the history and chatting with people during the Monday Digs series. It's always fun. Always good people in the metal detecting and treasure hunting community too. So yeah, having a blast. Everything's going great.
Absolutely. Let's see. Nope, didn't work. I tried it again. Yeah, so you know, and then the other day, the other one thing I wanted to get to really quick, and is, Manda, I heard you won some kind of a contest.
I did. I've been very lucky. I was fortunate enough to win tickets to Digstock on Treasure Talk. So they gave away a ticket to Digstock and camping pass. So Jeff's Obsessions and me are going down there, taking this camper down there, and we're going to have a blast. Hopefully, we get to see a lot of people down there. I'm excited.
Yeah, there's a few of them that'll probably be in here. So that's complete. So. That's completely awesome. Once again, everybody, apologize for the. I apologize for the video camera not working, but like we said, the show must go on. So we're going to go through this chat and we're going to blow through it. So everybody just kind of hang on just a second here. The chats are going really fast today, so I'm not really sure where it's going to end up. But the first one in today was our guest today, and that's Mike from Metal Detecting North Carolina. And Tim at Alley Cat Treasures. Mr. Dave at PA Relic Hunters. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Starry's Lost and Found, Mr. Steve. And Johnny Small Pepper was in here earlier. Boom shakalaka. I like Johnny. He's a good dude. 10-man magnet fishing in the house. Dawn the Metal Detective's in here. How's Miss Dawn doing today? I hope you're doing well. Oh, goodness. Your buddy from Jeff's Obsessions is in the house. What's up, Jeff?
My dig stock buddy.
Your new dig stock buddy, man. I'll tell you what, that I haven't got to go to a big event like that. That would be really cool. But that'll have to be an event in itself. I lived it through Illinois Digger, Mr. Tim. I lived through his experience. I watched everything he did down there. Miss Kathy at Pond Scum Magnet Fishing is in the house. I feel so naked without my camera working. It's nutty.
I'm not camera working.
There's Mr. Ken himself chatting in here. Going through a little faster here. Mike, whenever you're about ready, we'll be getting to you here shortly. You can pop up into the green room at any time. I think I sent you the StreamYard link correctly. I hope I did. Miss Leanne Crawford is in the house as well. Woody Wood Digger. There's Tanner, the Michigan Magnet Man, my other brother right there.
Representing Michigan.
Heck yeah. Marty's nuts about digging. There's another one of my buddies right there. How you doing, Marty? And I do apologize if I miss anything. Flash in your pan, Mr. Ed. Oh, Alex, it's messed up. Green screen, honey. I don't know what happened today. It's getting worse. Mid-Tone Mackey's in the house, shows up every now and again and hangs out with everybody. Make sure you check out his channel. Yeah, I keep seeing I'm kind of going back through the old chat, catching up. Combs Treasure Extractors in the house, and I keep seeing all the stuff about my camera, and I do not know what to do. Mr. Tom Riley's in the house as well. Fat Magnet Guy is here. Jim Steele, what's going on, Jim? Last winter. I got all the mail ready today. Everything ships out in the morning, Jim, so you should be getting yours probably by Monday. My phone's going off too, so that tells me a lot. Hey, let's see. Nah, a lot of the same people chatting. I'm not getting new names, so it gets me closer to the bottom. There's Mr. Gene at We Dig It, and then there's my daughter, Miss Alex, at It's in the Blood. Last night I had the same problem. I just had to turn my green screen off, and everything was fine. I'm just not sure why the whole thing quit today. Frederick Romano.
Deej is in the house.
Who's that?
Digging with Deej is in the house.
Oh yeah, Miss Deej stops by every now and again for a little bit. I got to hang out with her last year. That was a lot of fun at Flash Bash.
Supposed to do some digging with her this spring and summer, hopefully. So we'll figure out a way to cross paths and dig with her here in Michigan.
I feel you two would get along peachy.
Oh, we're gonna
Joey Delozier. Let's see. I did turn it off, Alex. It's just a mess. Turning off the green screen. I don't know what's going on today. It's progressively gotten worse, and they told me my arrival date on my new rig won't be until March. Wasn't happy about that.
A little ways off, yeah.
Joe Strack, what's going on, buddy? Nice to see you. I don't know if I mentioned Dave earlier. I should have if I didn't, but PA Relic Hunters, great channel if you love treasure hunting groups that go out together. Mr. Bill, Papa Roos, what's in the dirt? Usually goes live on Tuesday nights. Make sure you stop by and check him. There's my other good friend, Mr. Don Garza at Relic Reaper Metal Detecting. Mr. Diggs, always glad for Clad in the house. Thank you for being here tonight. We're going to make this thing work. Let's see. Plugs for Days is in the house as well. Hello, everyone. I'm eating, so hi. Hey, I wish I was eating. There's Miss Alex. Alex, thank you for the super chat, baby. I appreciate that, or sticker.
Amethyst is in the house.
I love Miss Shawnee. There, I finally got down to Miss Deej. Oh, I sent the email. Oh, Mike, I sent the email last week or the other day. So let me go ahead. I will just post it. Sorry, man. I thought you got it. I'll post it in chat here. And that's just for Mike, y'all, for today. Let's see. All right, getting through here a little faster, going on down. Most of the same names are chatting it up, which I like to see.
Yeah, Malaysia Metal Detector in the house.
Heck. Let's see. Who was that one?
Malaysia Metal Detector.
Oh, yeah, Malaysia Metal Detector. The week that this channel it really hit a big spike of viewership was the day that something happened that he shared my video somewhere over there in his area, and it just and I got a bunch of hits after that. I found it in the analytics, but I wasn't sure what happened, and there's a little bit of I guess a language barrier at times. And I tried asking, and he never really could tell me what he did, but there's Miss Amethyst. You change that picture almost daily anymore, Shawnee. Let's see.
I got Jersey Ray Diggs in the house. Rachel.
What's up, Miss Rachel? Nice to see you, dear. I am trying to get to the bottom of this chat, but it goes so fast. There she is. Absolutely fun as a guest when I had her about a month or so ago. Yeah, she chipped in a nice gift card, and for my Christmas giveaway, that was a lot of fun. Her and I had a good time that night. There's Mr. Jerry, the other side of the boat. He's texting me pictures the other day, finding silver coins and stuff, and I'm at work, and I'm like, oh my god.
Nice.
Yeah, I loved it, honestly. Anybody that sends me a text, if I see somebody digging up silver or stuff like that, I'm a happy camper. There's a couple Barnsley Magneteers and Allotment Life, do it yourself, and Nomad Metal Detecting. Welcome, guys. All right, there's Mike showing up, so we're almost to the bottom. Let him get lined up, and we will start this thing out the right way today.
Woo.
If anybody in the house today will have questions for Mr. Mike, please address the chat. Ken will try to, if he sees them in there, he'll cut me off and holler them out. And I'm sure he's got a few things himself. But you all, without further ado, let me drop that comment. Let me get the man of the week, Mr. Mike from Metal Detecting, North Carolina.
Hello, how you guys doing?
Good, man.
I was gonna say I'd be doing peachy if my camera was working, and I've been having computer issues. I ordered a new computer today, and I have no idea what's going on, and I'm not that smart to fix it.
It might be something in your StreamYard settings under cameras. You might
Yeah,
have
I was looking at it.
using the camera already. I don't know. It might be the green screen setting.
I turned it off.
Alley Cat, awesome.
Let's try just switching it really fast to see if it helps. But yeah, I went through this last night, and I was able to turn the green screen off and still broadcast. But other than that, I don't know what's kind of going on here. No virtual background.
Wow, Alley Cat super chatted $20.
Tim, thank you, sir. And by the way, I haven't had a chance to go pick up my my hot tamales yet, but I did grab a snack or two, and I can't show you, but I'm on chewy spree this week. Got to have some candy going around. But absolutely, I can't. Whatever I do, it's just not letting anything work. And usually, you're right, something else is locking my camera up, but I can't find it. And then before we started today, it was on. Ken and we could talk back and forth, and it was running until I went live, and then it just shut down.
Oh no!
You were in the black when we were talking. I didn't see you at all when we were
Oh,
talking.
I didn't know that. On my screen, it worked.
Oh,
but that's okay. I saw a couple other names that just popped in, and Barry Katz, hello. Now, Mike, I had another complete way I was going to go today with you, but since Mr. Ken has just won tickets for Digstock, why don't you frequent that event, don't you?
I went to this is a Digstock T-shirt.
Hey, I see it now.
I went to the first one that they did here in North Carolina, near Tarboro, and it was a good time. I met Aqua Chica there. There was a lot of, people came from all over the country to go there. There was people all the way from the Michigan. I think there's some people from New Hampshire that was down there, Wisconsin. There's even probably somebody from Colorado that was out there, flew out there from Colorado. And I was like, wow.
Yeah. So, I know the event grows pretty much every year. Last year at this time, I was just getting this stream started, and I had Tim, the Illinois Digger, on, and he was, it was either he had just went or was getting ready to go. And it really piqued my interest a little bit, although I haven't had a chance to go to any of the big events. When people do little small things, I've been able to do several of those. But it seems like a lot of fun to be able to get down and hang out and participate with, what is there, about 150 people at that event?
Oh, geez, there's more than that. There's probably about 200, 250, but the chunks of land were massive. And when you join the event, they'll send you an email and give you access to the maps and everything like that, and what properties that are in play and what properties are out of play. You know what I mean? Because they might have a swath of land, but this chunk over here looks like part of their land, but it's not, and that's off limits because of somebody else's property. But the place that I went to, and they're probably going to have it in the same area, there's a lot of Indian artifacts. People were finding arrowheads and pottery, and Civil War activity. People were finding Revolutionary War buttons.
Wow.
The guy found a Revolutionary War snake button where the snake is eating its tail with 13 eggs. That condition of that button that he found, it was worth at least $1,500.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm excited. You're making me more excited.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled.
I was amazed. And then there was another person who found, it was his first Digstock event. He found a 2 reals and a 1 real in the same hole.
I mean, come on. That's just saying. Now, I guess you're pretty familiar with the land that you're detecting in that event, or at least the history of it. Is there a lot of Rev War? I know that you go down into South Carolina and into northern Florida. I know there's some stuff that dates back to then, especially like on the eastern shore of Georgia. You get a lot of that. But what is the history in that state at that time? For Rev War history. What do you know about that?
There were bands of patriot militia who banded together to fight the British when Cornwallis was coming through. Right in my area, as a matter of fact, there's a place called Tory Hole where it's a park, but there's no detecting allowed there. But there's the British camped in this low area next to a river, and the Patriots heard about it and gathered everybody up in the middle of the night. And at daybreak, they attacked, and it was basically, kicked their butts. And
so that really makes it really cool when you've got that wider variety in your area to kind of hang out and see. Just to be able to detect that.
But in the area of Tarboro, there's the history that goes not just American history, but Native American history too. You know,
Now,
there's since it's by an old river, pottery and arrowheads, spearheads, and Indian artifacts of that type are found all the time, just laying on top of the ground. There was a guy who pulled up to a site, got out his detector, looked down, and reached down and picked up an arrowhead right there. As soon as he parked, he got out of his vehicle, opened up his trunk, and he looked down, and there's an arrowhead sitting right on the ground by his foot.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
I'm like, I said to him, it looks like you're in the right spot. Yeah.
Don't
All right,
even
folks.
use the metal detector for that.
Yeah.
All right, one quick second here. I've got something I'm going to try out really fast. I'm going to switch and go over to my phone because I can't stand just having my logo up here. Everybody just bear with me for 1 second. Let me go ahead and mute.
It's just us. It's just us, man.
Hey, man. Hey,
We need
we'll
to hold down the fort.
I'll show you one of my
There we go.
better find. Hey, Shane, good to see you, man.
Okay, let's see how well. Is this echoing or anything?
Nope.
All right. Oh, there it goes.
So look, we're at a rock concert.
That was perfect. Stadium voice.
All right. Well, at least that feels a little bit better, and it'll work for the time being today. At least I won't feel completely out of whack. Once again, I apologize for not having my technical stuff. Oh, thanks, Gene. I'll try that. Let's try that. Does it switch on its own? Oh, I don't know if I can do it that way. And I'm gonna leave it this way for now. Wow. Internal Compass of North Carolina. How you doing?
Oh, Internal Compass. How you doing, man?
Nice to see you guys.
Got Scuba Sonia and Mary Monarch and Digging Canuck that popped in too.
Digging Canuck. How you doing, Liz?
Right on. The Digging Canuck is Liz is always awesome, always full of positivity. And Scuba Sonia, that's my new sister. I always say my sister is hashtag Team Sonia. She always beat me up, over my daughter. It was always Team Alex, so I'm just going to jump on the Team Sonia bandwagon and go with it. Yeah, Mike, and so, Ken's all excited. He's going to make his first trip down there this year. And
Awesome.
So I thought that you would be the perfect person to ask since you live in the local area. But, this is my general opportunity to get to know people a little bit better. And I have some curiosity. I know we were talking just a while back, before when did you get into treasure hunting? When did that become a thing for you?
I was a kid riding around I grew up in a small town in Michigan, and I was riding my bike around. I was into BMX bikes at the time, and I was about 10 years old, something like that. And I saw a guy walking around curb stripping in my town with a metal detector, and I was like hanging around him. He was really nice and telling me about it and everything like that. And he was digging standing Liberty quarters and silver dimes and stuff like that. And I goes, that's amazing, So that pretty much put the bug in me, and I asked for a metal detector, for Christmas or whatever. If it was too much, I said I'd do whatever it takes to help pay for it, sell newspapers or whatever. And so Christmas comes around, I get a metal detector. It's a beat frequency oscillator, an old cheapie, right? But it worked. And when springtime came around, the tree roots were buckling these sidewalk blocks in my town, and they were pulling them up. And I asked them if I could metal detect underneath when they pulled up the sidewalk blocks in one of these old towns, because these giant old trees were pushing up the block. So they cut the tree root, pulled the tree root out, and I was metal detecting there, and I was finding Indian pennies and V-nickels, and I mean, just right off the bat, just an inch or two under the surface, because that old thing wouldn't get very deep. Yeah. And then so they were amazed, and they let me do that for the whole street. And they're like, hey, man, next week we're going to be over on this road. So the whole summer I spent
that's really cool.
I spent following them around.
How's it going?
That's an awesome opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thing. It's like going to the casino or getting a lottery ticket where you win the first time out. You find a bunch of really cool things the first time, and you're just hooked. So and that was with a cheap metal detector. and you were a kid at the time. So did it progress through your teenage years, or did you kind of give it a break to be a boy? How did that play out?
I was still doing the typical teenager things, BMX bikes and things like that. But my primary thing was, I'd hit every park. I would go and ask people, because in front yards in that town, there was these giant blocks. They were sitting in the front by the road. So I asked one of the old folks, I knocked on the door and I goes, "What is that thing that's out there?" And when you're a kid, they're more open to talk to you rather than if you're an adult. It's a lot easier to door knock when you're a kid. So I was asking them about that, and they're happy to share the history, and stuff like that. And I found out it was a stage step. So the stagecoach would pull up and they would step down onto that block. And I told them that I got a metal detector if I could look around it. And they goes, "Yeah, sure. Yeah. Help yourself. The front yard's open." Yeah. So I was out there and I was metal detecting around those stage drops and stuff like that. And I was finding all kinds of Indian pennies and Wheaties and silver dimes and just loaded, man. The whole street was just like that, and it was just, I was amazed. And
That's
so I
awesome.
got the bug, and then eventually I got, coin collecting and stuff like that, and buy, sell, and trade. And then I upgraded my metal detector to a better one. I can't remember the name of it. It wasn't Garrett or anything like that, but eventually I did get a Garrett, and it kind of went from there.
Wow. Now, the other thing that I know, and I think we talked about just a little while back, you did a stint in the military, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, 24 years.
Thank
And
you for
well,
your service.
absolutely. I was really I really was fired up at Veterans Day, and then I made a little montage of about Veterans Day, and I really have a lot of respect for the people that have served in our military, since I wasn't allowed to, and it probably wasn't my thing to begin with. So much more respect to everybody that does. When you're during your time in the military, did you ever get a chance to take your detector with you when you were moved around and stuff on your downtime?
Yes, I did. As a matter of fact, when I was deployed to Germany, I bought a metal. I had a metal detector, but it didn't come in yet with my household goods, and I was shipped there ahead of my family and everything. And so I went to the PX and got a metal detector, and they sold them at the PX there. So I was out there in Germany, and I was finding all kinds of old Deutschmarks and war related stuff in the old post. And the MPs drive by, and at that time they didn't care, like they're like indifferent. We don't give a fuck. So when I deployed to Bosnia, they knew that I metal detected. And what do you use to find mines with?
Yeah.
So guess what my job was, So I got attached to the Mine Action Center and finding mines and stuff. So it's like, yeah, it's pretty hazardous,
Yeah, so that really takes your hobby and it puts it in a whole new light. You're out there sweeping for mines, and that's a job that you really can't afford. You can't afford to be lackluster at it. You got to be very thorough with that job, because lives kind of depend on that, right?
Yeah, it's kind of weird though, because when we were training, they would just take a 2-penny nail and stick it straight down into the ground, and they go, "This is about as big as the fuse, just the head of the nail." They not the whole nail, but just the head part of the nail, and they would push it down to the ground about 2 inches, and say, "This is about the signal that you could expect to see from a Russian mine or a Serbian mine or a Italian mine." Well, the Italian mines are really hard because they're mostly all plastic except for the tiny little copper percussion cap. That's the only metal in it. So those are almost impossible to detect. And is what the Serbians would do is they would take, there's I remember the name of the mine. I think it was a TMA3. It had 3 fuses on it. Is about the size of a cheese wheel or a steering wheel, and they would cut it into thirds. So they would have 3 mines. The whole thing weighed 22 kilograms of TNT. And then there was other there was a time where a Humvee drove over a mine and blew off back part of the vehicle. So we were out there and looking for additional mines before the recovery team came in. And we found a mine that was buried with the 3 fuses sticking up out of the mud with a footprint right, that's the luckiest individual alive. He stepped on a mine, but it didn't go off.
Wow.
So I was like, wow, man. But anyway, when I got back to Germany, a buddy of mine took me to this old place. He was in the Bundeswehr, and he took me to this old place where they did the old wars back in the 1500s, the medieval stuff.
Wow.
And me and him were talking and drinking beer. I gave the thing to my daughter, and she was out there in the area. She's metal detecting, and she found some old coin, and I still don't know what it was. It's some old ancient coin from the 1500, something like that. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
That's incredible. That's awesome. Is she hooked at it too?
Old bronze coin, but I couldn't identify it. I didn't know what it was.
Does she metal detect too?
No, she didn't really get hit with a bug like I did. But yeah, it's like, for example, when I try to upgrade as often as I can when the next new shiny thing comes out that gets good reviews. So I was out and I was asking permissions around before I started filming for YouTube. And there was this old farm. So I asked the farmer, he was out plowing his field. So I stopped and walked out to the field and talked to him and everything like that. And he goes, yeah, man, whenever I'm done, you can come out here and, I just planted winter wheat, which is a cover crop. He says, you can come out here and dig. So I was out there digging, and I found this thing. This is a training round. It doesn't have a fuse on it, and it weighs about 8 pounds.
Wow.
8 pounds. It's a solid iron. It's a mortar round, but when I first dug that thing up, I was like, whoa, hey, whoa. Took some pictures of it, backed away, turned the machines off and everything like that, and then did some research on it and found out that, because it didn't look like anything, because I'm retired military, out in the military, and I would know what a mortar is. It has the shape to it, but it wasn't a mortar. I was like, it has to be some kind of dummy round. And it was a dummy round. But you never know what you're going to find, because you might find, yeah, exactly. Yeah, something like that. That has a fuse on it, and this is just a round thing. But
that almost looks like an aerial practice bomb. Almost.
It is.
Like,
it is. It's the without the fuse. It doesn't have the tail fin on it, so it's still plugged with mud and stuff like that. But it's pretty
really
heavy,
cool.
and it's got pits in it from being in the ground for so long. I don't know how old it is.
Yeah, I was really curious because I knew you mentioned in the stream that you was in the military, and I always wondered if anybody, because my other digging partner Kurt, when we went out with him, and he always talked about when he was stationed, he was in the Air Force, he was in Japan, and he was talking about how nobody over there metal detected, and so he was always finding just all these coins and stuff all the time. And then so that made me wonder, because I knew you were military, and I figured that I was wondering if where you were stationed and if you got a chance to dig. So that's really cool.
Yeah. When I was over in Hawaii, I was stationed in Hawaii, and I was metal detecting on Waikiki Beach. What better place to go when you're in Hawaii, right? So I found a lot of stuff out there, rings and jewelry and stuff like that. I found an Omega watch, which is, so that was a nice find.
That's awesome.
So yeah, and some old Hawaiian coins from back in the 20s or 30s. And when I was stationed in Germany, I found all those a lot of German stuff. And then I was stationed in Bosnia, and part of the Bosnia Kosovo thing, I was out there doing some practice tests on the ground where we had some targets set up, right? So I'm digging these targets and everything, and they gave us a civilian White's what was that? I think it was a White's compass or something like that at the time. And I was digging up this one target, and he goes, "What is it?" And I goes, and they're talking to themselves, because I could pretty much tell where they dug the thing, because the earth was disturbed, but this wasn't where it was disturbed. So I was digging around, and I found an old Roman coin.
Oh wow!
Wow,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Really cool.
That was pretty neat. And then
quick question for you.
Go
Quick
ahead.
question
Go
for
ahead.
you. What part of Michigan were you from on the Michigan map?
The thumb area.
By Detroit? Ypsilanti area?
No, Flint area.
Flint? Got it.
Fox in the ground detecting. I just gave you a moderator status. I don't know how I missed you before. I know you've been in here before. Please feel free to post your channel link, and also Nomad Metal Detecting. I'm getting you right now as well. Feel free to share in here anything you would like to post about your channel. It's fair game in here. We definitely support and promote each other. So Mike, after you got out of the military and then now you're here in North Carolina, what got you, I mean, if you could have recorded all the stuff as a child and that you did in the military, the bomb stuff I would have loved to watch. I mean, I know that's I mean, just for the dramatic, effect of it. What prompted you to get into the YouTube side of things?
It was probably around 2018, late 2017, and I just got a AT Pro, and I, worked on it for a while, and I was getting used to using it, and I was finding some great stuff, better than the older Garrett one of those. Oh, I had a white Spectrum XLT that I use from time to time. It's a great relic machine, but it misses a lot of coins. So I upgraded to the Garrett AT Pro, and I was out there in a park, and I was metal detecting, and I was finding all kinds of silver and stuff like that, and just putting it away. And I saw another detectorist out there, so I went up and talked to him, and he goes, he had a channel, but I can't remember what it was. But he's the one who suggested, why don't you record it on your phone and make videos and put it on YouTube? Like, I watched the Hoover Boys before, and I watched other channels and stuff like that, but the thought never crossed my mind to make a YouTube channel. So it wasn't until then, and I've been in permanently in North Carolina since 2003. So it was just then that another YouTuber approached me and suggested making videos. I'm like, oh, cool, yeah, I'll do that.
Well,
But
I know that
go back and record some of the finds that I've made as a child and growing up as a teenager and stuff, and some of the places I've been, because I wouldn't go anywhere without it. We would go and visit my uncle who lived in Massachusetts, and his backyard had one of those stone walls.
Oh.
So while everybody was in the house talking and doing whatever, I'm out there in the backyard, digging holes. And I think I found some old, it wasn't a real old fence because it was in a town called Needham. But it looked old to me. It still had green moss on it, but it was more modern stuff, modern coins and stuff like that. Nothing old. But when I was over there in Massachusetts, I didn't really have a chance to go to any historic spots like I probably would have liked to.
No, I was sitting there talking about it. North Carolina is one of the states that I've got a plan to go down there and visit at some point. And North Carolina, South Carolina, that's probably when we take family trip. That's the next area that we're going to go as far as someplace different. And I was always excited about going down there. I remember the first time I came across your channel. It wasn't one of your videos. I came across one of your live streams. And you don't run as many live streams anymore as you used to, but they were always really enjoyable. Why aren't you doing that anymore?
I don't know. I probably just haven't had the time, and I got a full-time job, and I don't know. I just I guess I should, I guess I should, because I used to have all kinds of contests and informative stuff and do a lot of giveaways and things like that. And, but yeah, I'll start doing that again. I'll start live streaming more often.
I just remember because if I would get home, and because Friday is usually one of my days to detect, I would come home and I would get settled in for the evening, and I remember turning on the YouTube because I don't have a need to turn the TV on anymore. I got all the entertainment I need right here in front of me, and I kept coming across your live stream on Fridays. And it was such a broad spectrum. You had the coin collecting, you had a very wide variety, a different crowd than I see in just about anybody's stream. So I was always, I thought it was going fairly well. I was just curious to why you weren't running them anymore.
Well, it's partially because I would have a live stream right after I premiered a video. And when I premiered a video, before I started entering into Monday Digs, I think the maximum participation I had in one of my premieres was 10 people, and on an average of 6 people would be watching the premiere with me. So I was thinking to myself, I'm just not going to do any premieres anymore. And that kind of just led away from the live streams too, because, what's the point? And so then Monday Digs came along, and I was like, I want to get on this too. This is pretty neat. Just a whole evening of live, premieres just back to back to back. And I was like, this is pretty cool. So I, asked you and if I could get in on this, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah, well, see, that was the thing. You're one of the ones that have kind of started out at the end of it, and I know 10:15 at night is kind of late for some people. So you started putting out videos earlier in the evening. I never saw them when they popped up. So I would come on, I'd get on here live, and I'd see that you just had a video go off, and I was like, man, I wish I had the opportunity to go ahead and drop some shares out, because so. With all that being said, whenever you want to put your videos out, just make sure you keep using the hashtag. But does that? I mean, just out of curiosity, does that make you, when you start seeing that, does that make you want to sit down and watch videos for a whole evening? Do you sit down for 5 or 6 of them? How do you go about it?
I plan now for my Mondays to be off so I can watch Monday Digs, and then I make sure that if there's somebody in the chat that I don't recognize, or somebody that's new, I'll visit their channel, and if I haven't picked them up, I'll pick them up.
Well, that makes me feel real.
Watch a few of their videos. I subscribe to a lot of people, so every now and then I go through my subscriber list, and I figure I haven't visited this channel in a while, and I'll go there and watch a video and leave a comment. And some of the videos, I get hooked on it, and I'll just go back and start watching past ones, because I've been missing out on a lot of good stuff. So if you have a lot of subscribers, go to your studio, and then down at the bottom where it says subscribers, and then hit all, and then just go through your subscriber, who you're subscribed to, and watch some videos every now and then from some of these people who you don't hear much from, because the way the algorithm works is the most recent videos that you watch are the most popular going to be in your feed. So you're not going to get, for example, if I subscribed to Practical Ken, left a message on one of his videos, and then haven't watched him in a month or two, but I've been watching these other channels, I'm not going to get any suggestions for Practical Ken unless he releases a video and I got the bell rung.
Yeah, that's I've been doing it. It's been an experiment with the algorithm, and we did it. Well, I'm glad that you actually picked up the actual spirit of what it was meant to be, and that was exactly what it was supposed to be. It was trying to get a group of 7-10 guys together, and everybody collectively grow each other by sharing their audience from video to video to video. So that makes me feel pretty good that it actually works in that aspect. But I go through and I take notes, and I pay really close attention, because this algorithm, I don't 100% understand it, but I use the data that I get from that to try to help figure out new ways to help people kind of keep growing and keep boosting up a little bit. And I'll put this thing out, if we can get that thing up to 24 hours of full videos on Mondays, that'd be flipping awesome. But that, I'm glad that worked out. We have a lot of fun with it, and you're welcome to come in and post anytime. If you just drop me an email, then I'll drop 3 posts about it, and I'll share you out and try to help it, because it's always nice when you have a premiere and you get 18 and 20, 30, 40 people in a premiere. That it just feels really good to have that.
Yeah, it does. The first time I had more than, I think, 10 or 11 people was when I went on Monday Digs, and that was my first one that I had more than 6 or 10. Because I was like, I rewatched my videos, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? I must be doing something, because when you don't get that many views and you don't get that many visitors to your channel, you're led to believe that you're doing something wrong, or something's not being appealing enough to the general audience, that your finds aren't good enough. You're something wrong with the way you're shooting your video or editing or something like that. Thumbnail has a lot to do with it. You know, you learn as you go, you know what I mean? So thumbnail is probably a good 50-60% of what influences somebody to click on your video and watch it. You know, if your thumbnail is not attractive enough, it's not going to, you know, lure somebody to click on your video and watch it. And then you got to have a hook on the beginning part of the video, you know, like you dig in a hole and I found a silver coin, and just before you wipe it, it goes to your intro, and then, you know, so something like that, you know, the hook, you got to get a hook to get them interested to watch the video.
Yeah. And so you're hitting aspects of marketing right there. I mean, that's the thing. And where I've learned and where I've been getting all my information, it's not from our community here. It's from what my daughter and I are doing on the sports side of it. The numbers are so much greater that you can delve into the numbers a little bit more, and you got a better idea of what exactly is happening. And so, but you're right. You know, the thumbnail is the biggest click. You know, is the biggest thing, and then you've got to find something that people are searching.
Exactly. And it's not just the thumbnail too, it's the title has a lot to do with it. Hashtags have a lot to do with it. Making your title of your video unique enough that, you know, when you go on the YouTube search bar and you type in Garrett AT Pro, you're going to get 35, 40,000 entries. But if you go something that you're thinking that people want to see, how to use the AT Pro, or getting started with the AT Pro, or tricks, tips and tricks with it, something like that, then you're closing that wide spectrum a little bit, narrowing the niche, so to speak. You're filtering. And so I had a video. The best video that I got is how to use the AT Pro, and that one's got 4K views, and the rest of my videos got average of 150, 200 views. So that one's doing extremely well. So that's leaving me to believe that do more how-to videos.
Well, and just incorporating, and that's the thing, and that's, you know, of my research, and that's another reason that I kind of have jumped around like that. New detectors, unboxing a detector, reviewing a detector, all that stuff. If you can do that while making your regular videos, it's going to boost your views. But that, you know, that's the thing, man. It's just that we're in such a competitive niche because the niche is so small, but there's a lot of us that make videos that it takes group effort to get the share rate out there by, you know, and that's.
But I would like to. You are absolutely right in that it's a small niche, a very small niche as compared to the rest of the broad YouTube. But this is probably the only community that really looks after each other without any animosity or ill will. You know, because there's other communities out there that are just vicious towards each other. Like,
yeah, that's a really great point. And Niagara Relic Hunters, if I haven't got you modded up, welcome, because I don't remember your channel in here before. But let me see if I can find it really quick. I thought you might be modded up. Oh, I've already got you modded up, so you have been here before. But thank you for stopping in tonight. It's nice to see you, because I must have just hit you and not remembered it. That's the other thing, you know, just, you know, every now and again within the community, you get a couple little uprisings where people aren't quite pleasant to one another. And, you know, it seems like the community kind of has a way of dealing with that on its own. You know, they're more than willing to be compassionate and listen and hear it out. But most of the time, people don't really we're really solid about, you know, about just trying to have a good time when we're in here, because this is our fun time. It's our downtime. Let me get back to the bottom on this chat here. This is really confusing running through my phone. I got a StreamYard window, a YouTube window, and I'm trying to keep up with all three. And I keep forgetting that I'm on my telephone today because of my stupid technical difficulties.
Don't worry about it.
What
hey,
is
Shane, can I do a giveaway real quick?
Absolutely. What do you want to do?
I sent you guys a private chat.
Oh, I can't see it. Hold on.
With the answer on the StreamYard side.
Got it.
Okay, so basically the game is identify the relic, and the first one to enter it into the chat what it is, you're going to win a holographic and a matte finished sticker and a 1 ounce copper round.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Looky there.
Standing
Shiny.
Liberty copper, 1 ounce copper round. So
Nice.
All right. Well, go ahead and
Got
ask your
everybody's
question
attention.
away.
all right, got everybody's attention.
Yeah.
All right,
You saw
this is
something
the
shiny.
object right here. I know what it is. I already sent it to Practical Ken and Shane, and they're watching the chat to see. It's got 4 little rivets right here, and it's got some hook deal right here. I can't move it. Obviously, it's rusted.
Bam! You already got a winner.
Got a winner.
Didn't
Yes,
take
sir.
long at all.
The exact correct. And Jeremy was close. He had comb up there, but Niagara hit the full name correct first.
Curry comb. Yep. The horse
That's awesome.
brushing comb. Yep.
Wow, that was
That's
pretty
awesome.
fast, man. I'm pretty impressed by that.
Man.
Well, send your info to Shane, and he'll get me your info, and I'll make sure your prize is.
Sure. 1 second. Let me go ahead and roll that really fast. Niagara, here's my email address. Feel free to send me an email with your mailing address, and I'll make sure Mike gets it immediately. I'll drop him an email tonight. But I didn't know the answer to that when I was looking at it. So that was really cool because usually I like to guess too, and I'm like, man, this is no fun. I don't even get a chance to guess, but I would have never.
I wouldn't have guessed it. So that's awesome.
I found 2 of
I
those.
got it really fast.
2 of these in one field.
Oh, that's
And I was
crazy.
like, what? When I first found it on my video that I first found one, I was like digging it out with my knife, and I was like, this looks like a heat sink to a radio. I was like, it had to have mounted on a radio, but I couldn't figure out what the hook was for.
Yeah.
And then I was like, this is so weird, So somebody in the chat or in the comments identified it for me. And
Did you find
there's
like
other
horseshoes
skills.
and other stuff in the area, tack in the area too, other than that?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of buckles out there. There was a lot of buckles, a lot of Army stuff, just Army stuff in that field. And you find everything from 5.56 right here.
Oh, yeah.
7.62, which is a little bit bigger.
A blank.
Compare that to this is an older style 50 cal round.
Whoa.
And this is the newer 50 cal round casing.
I've never seen that other one before. That's cool.
And then this is the size of the bullet that goes in it. So it would look like this. So that's a 50 cal. And then, so this is a little 5.56, and this one is a 20 millimeter. And this is a 50 cal.
That's cool. That's really cool.
So this is
a lot of training in that area.
Yeah, I don't know where the 20 millimeters came from, other than an aircraft gun or something. But it was out. They were doing a lot of training out there from the 40s, getting ready to go to World War II. So they were using farm fields and everything they could to do hedgerow training, to going from European style training and stuff like that. So they had to go train in farm fields, and they had to go train in fields and stuff like that. So they would make deals with the farmers and stuff like that, or they'll just come up and tell them, we're training on your land. Whether you like it or not, we're going to be doing some stuff.
We got big guns.
Yeah, our guns are bigger.
That's awesome.
So I hate to sound repetitive, but I didn't realize how broad the spectrum of treasure hunting and metal detecting that you had done. What do you consider your best find out of all the places that you've dug and all the finds that you've made over your life?
I kind of knew you were going to ask that question, but it's one of those questions that even though you're not really prepared, because you got so many bucket listers that you find over the course of time, like I've always wanted to find a skeleton key, or like, for example, I still want to find a large scent. All the time I've been metal detecting over 45 years, I still haven't found a large scent.
Wow.
And, but I'm not, I'm in a spot where I have potential to find one if God sees it fit that I should have one. But but so far I haven't found one. I'm still looking for it. But I was out at the cotton field, and it wasn't a best find as one, but it was the best hunt. Was the hunt where I found 20 buttons in one day.
Oh, wow.
20 colonial era buttons. I found two. Here's
Oh,
I
wow.
found two large dandy buttons. I found my first trime. I found a shield nickel. I found a Tomback button that says gilt on it, Gilt, but the gilt is spelled backwards.
Really?
Yeah, I found a whole bunch of, silver wash buttons, just all kinds of, none of them are military. Not a single one is military, but they're all civilian buttons, but they're all Tomback and they're all early 1800s.
That's really cool.
So that day has to be my best, but my single object find, it has to be a diamond ring that I found, and I gave it back to the owner.
Oh, that's cool though. That's really cool that you're able to find it and find the owner too.
Yeah. I was out at a flea market, and I was looking at a metal detector that was on a table, and I wound up buying it just because I collect them, and it didn't work. So I took it home, fixed it, and it worked. And anyway, this lady was like, "You know how to use those?" I goes, "Yeah." She goes, "I lost a ring years ago, and never been able to find it." It goes, "You know where you lost it?" She goes, "Yeah, in the garden out back." I go, "I'll be happy to come over and look if you want me to, help you find it." She goes, "Yeah, sure, yeah, come on over." So she, I said, "Have somebody there with you so you're safe. Have somebody come with you so you're not there alone. So I don't want to be a threat to you or anything like that." So I told her to have somebody there with her before I came, and I introduced myself and everything like that, just be safe and everything like that. So that sort of showed me the general area where she lost it, and sure enough, between these trees, you could see where the garden was, and it took me about hour and a half, something like that, to find it. And I was finding a lot of cool stuff in between.
That's cool. That's really cool.
I was finding old spoons, lantern parts,
Oh, wow.
hammer heads, axe heads, just regular old stuff you would find around the turn of the century up to the 1920s stuff. And then once I got the big stuff out of the way, then I started concentrating on anything that gave a tone, above iron. And so anything that beeped above iron, I was digging everything. Scraps of aluminum, pull tabs, just, whatever it was. And BBs and oh my God, those BBs.
BBs. I can only imagine.
BBs and lead pellets. Somebody had a BB gun and had a great time out there.
Yep.
But eventually I found the ring, and it was old, and it was deep. It was a little bit bent, but it was still gold, and it still had his diamond in it.
Oh,
And
that's so cool.
scrubbed it down with a garden hose a little bit best I could, and then I presented it to her. I didn't get anything on film. I wasn't recording at the time.
That is really cool. That is really cool.
I gotta laugh because I've only found one gold ring in my life, and it had 6 diamonds in it. And where I was at, I was there looking for a ring. The neighbor had lost a ring on that farm, 30 some years prior, and I didn't know what I was looking for. So the day I found it, it ended up not being the homeowners, who had lost 2 wedding rings out in this yard that I still haven't found, mind you. Or he says he lost them there. I still haven't found them. I've been there several times. The neighbor's father lost the ring out there, and then it was a mason's ring, and I didn't know what it was. So here I am with this. I mean, it came out of the ground looking brand new, this beautiful diamond ring, and I'm going over, and I'm excited that I found it. And I closed my video out, and then I went over to the neighbor's house because the guy that owned the house I'm friends with, he was gone. He left, and he said, "I just have fun. I'll see you later." And so I had to wait it out and see, if it was either, and nobody laid claim to it. So nobody knows. The 2 owners of that property for the last 50 years, nobody knew where that ring came from in their side yard. But that ring had a jeweler's mark on it that took it back to the late 1970s. So, but nobody had any idea, and I still have it. But it was kind of exciting, as much as I wanted to give it back to somebody, it was kind of cool because now if I got something, if I ever really want to sell it, I can, and it's got a value of almost $1,500.
Wow.
That's a metal detector. Metal detector.
Well, up until the Garrett AT Pro, which I spent close to $600 on the complete package, because I got the metal detector, the headphones, the Z-Link, the headphones. I got the MS3 waterproof headphones and a pouch, and I just broke the bank and went for the gold, and I got the Lesh tool. I got just everything I needed, just starting off new with a new detector instead of an old thing like this thing right here, this XLT. This thing is an excellent relic machine, man. The only thing is that there's only one volume setting, and that's stupid loud. I could be out in the middle of a farm field and I would have this thing go off, and the dude quarter mile away is, "What'd you find?"
Yeah,
so I'm gonna put a volume control on that thing.
Oh, jeez, that
speaker, man, that thing puts out some audio, dude.
Yeah, Grandma Kelly's Clean Life said that it sounds like I found a ring for her.
There's no speaker jack headphone jack for that XLT.
Yeah, there's a headphone jack, but still, even in the headphones, you got that. Yeah. The only thing that I don't like, because I don't usually wear headphones on both ears. I usually pull one ear off so I can be aware of my surroundings. You know what I mean? So whenever I'm out detecting, I'll have one ear on and the other's pulled off, so I can have one ear open to the surroundings. You know what I mean? Unless I'm with somebody else, then I feel a little bit safer. But I like to hear what else is going on around me. And when I'm doing a video, sometimes I'll turn that one that's off the ear around, so when it'll show up on the video, beep, 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 and stuff like that. But it's so loud, even with the headphones on, man. Guy was across a baseball field from me, and he heard that thing going off. I was like, that thing's way too loud. So I'm just gonna put that other Garrett right here. This is the one that I bought in Germany at the PX. This is the Garrett Freedom Ace Plus, and this thing's been through the ringer. This thing's been all over the place. I had to re-epoxy the coil because it broke, and so that thing's, it still works. It still works, and whenever I go out in to a place, teaching kids how to metal detect and stuff like that. I got an invite to an elementary school to do a demonstration and show them how to use a simple machine like that. So that's what I use them for, because it's just turn on and go until they get more technically savvy. But an adult, I got a Nocta Macro as my backup machine that I use for, because when I go door knocking or I ask for permission, I say, I got a spare machine if you like me to teach you how to use it. There's one guy, he's got 10 acres. And he invited me out, and I told him that, I got an extra machine if you want to learn how to metal detect tools. Yeah, that's fine. So I was doing some research on his area, found out that Sherman and 60,000 men marched right through his property.
Wow.
That's incredible. That's really cool.
See,
that's awesome. You're teaching the landowners to metal detect too. That's
the
really
potential
cool.
is there. I'm not gonna say for sure, but there, Sherman and 60,000 people walked through. Somebody had to drop something. Hopefully.
It could be in that next hole,
Yeah, it could be. You never know what you're going to get in the metal detecting. You just never know what you're going to get. I've helped sheriff office find bullets for a crime scene, but he handed me some of those orange flags on a wire. And he says, when you find a target, just stick the flag in the ground. We have our people dig it up, because it's a chain of custody thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So we got a forensic guy. You find it, you're going to be tempted to dig it. Don't dig it. Just tag it and move on to the next one. but
And
it's
then
in
you
the
like
general area, you know.
do you like raise your hand and say, okay, but if it's not what you're looking for, but it's a silver coin, do I get that?
Can I have it?
Make sure I want to make sure that I get some of this good stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I've helped him do that, and yeah, exactly what I was thinking. Because I was out at a Civil War battlefield, and I was pulling up to this one place where they had some plaques that you could read and monuments and stuff like that. And then 2 sheriffs pull up, and they got out and they're just talking amongst themselves. So I went over there and I talked to them, and the subject came around to metal detecting, and the guy was talking about this and that and the other, and he goes, "Yeah, we know this property owner over here. He doesn't mind if you metal detect, but this one over here, he might take a shot at you." I'm like,
Fair
"This is
warning."
coming from the sheriff." I'm like, "Okay, good to know." So I drove over to the guy's house and I asked him permission to metal detect on his land, and he goes, "What's your name?" I told him my name's Mike, and he goes, "Okay, but these are the rules. Whatever you find, take out. Like whenever you find something big like chain or something like that, drag it out, and if you don't want it, pile it up by that telephone pole, and the museum will come around and pick through it every now and then and take what they want. And don't drive on my field, because when you get stuck, I'm not going to come get you." So fair enough. Good to go. So I drove back. Sheriffs were still there. So I got out my metal detector. I told them I just got permission. So they popped their trunks open, and they both got out metal detectors out of their trunks. So we're out there. They're in uniform. And we're out there next to the road metal detecting. I can imagine what people driving by were thinking.
A crime scene.
After about 15 minutes, my first target was a Williams cleaner, and then I found another brown or a mini ball. And
Wow.
neither of them found anything, but they got the call to go because they were going to ruin somebody's day. They were just waiting for some backup.
More treasures for you.
Yeah, so they gave me his card, and I got a hold of him after a while, and he goes, "Hey man, we might be able to use you if we're not available." So I'm like, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And that brings me to another question that I didn't get a chance to get to. I'm assuming the item that you most want to find on your bucket list has got to be a large sense, since you've never found one and you've got such an extensive collection of other things that you kind of have found. So I'm sure that one's really close to the top.
It's very close to the top.
But and the other thing that I was going to get to is that and I know most of us that are pretty into the hobby really use a lot of the same tools. But you mentioned research several times in here about about the properties. What kind of tools do you use for research? Websites? Do you use the library at all too? Do you actually make something more public by going to a local library? How do you go about finding and working on the sites that you dig?
I am a big fan of the of using public library and their resources, because if you have a question about history and you got a good public county library, and I happen to live in the county seat, so we got the county seat library. You got your research section where you can look at the books in there and maps and the map room and stuff like that, but you can't check them out. You have to do them in there. So once you visit them and you ask them questions, challenging questions about history of an area, and you know what you're talking about, they're more than happy to help you. They live for that stuff, right? So I go into the public library. I go into this map room, and I'm looking through these old maps, and it's free. You can pull out any plat book and anything, and you can use the courthouse as well. But I usually use public library. There's online resources you can use. If I'm doing a quick recon, what I call a recon, I'll go on Google Earth, or not Google Earth, but Bing Maps or Google Maps, whatever map platform you want to use. You're looking around your area for an old park. And then I go to usually it's a .edu site that has an old map overlay type of feature on their university. So I pull up that, and then I do an old map overlay of the park that I'm looking at and see what used to be in that park or the surrounding area, or a farm or whatever it may be. And then I'll take that and I'll open up the GIS, the county GIS, which shows your property tax ownership and stuff like that. Find the owner's name, contact the owner, ask for permission, and you go from there. But that's just to find who owns the property and how to get permission. To do the research on it, that's where the library comes in.
Yeah, I've got a couple local libraries that are really good that I get into every now and again. Don't get into all the time. The dog's so big that he's about ready to knock everything over because he definitely was determined that he was going to come in here. But the library does have some really extensive resources. Do you have a particular is there a lot of historic maps for your area available online through like Library of Congress or anything like that, or do you not use those resources at all?
I do. I use Library of Congress. I use the hang on a second. Where is it? I got a book of historic markers, because every state has those historic markers. I got a book for North Carolina historic markers. I have the historic register of the National Register of Historic Places is a good place. Any historical preservation society, historical societies in your hometown, they love to do research like that. That's what that gives them a sense of purpose. Like, wow, somebody came to visit today and asking these questions. So, you go to your little historic society if you live in a little town or a big town. And there's this other place that I do. It's called Preservation NC, which they preserve old structures and stuff like that, right? So what happens is these people donate or looking to sell a property, but they go through Preservation NC. And what Preservation NC does is they go and refurbish, they tear out the stuff, and then they redo the walls and they redo the house and make it sellable or at least presentable, right? So then I was out there working at this one place, and we were doing all this work and everything like that. And then I asked the guy in charge, I goes, hey, can I, is it okay if I use a metal detector? He goes, yeah, sure. Yeah, go ahead, man. No problem. So I made sure all my work was done, cleaning out this and taking the stuff to the dumpster and stuff like that. Because a lot of times these old historic buildings are just filled with trash. From floor to ceiling, it's just trash. So most of it's just bagging it up and taking it to one of these rollaways and just dumping stuff in there. But you got to look through it because you never know what somebody's going to throw away. So I got a permission that way, and I was hoping to find a large cent because the date on that property is the 1840s. But no, it was a lot of trash and stuff like that. But I was like, and then it just started downpouring rain, so that kind of put a damper on things, so to speak. Yeah, so didn't really have a chance to hit that place as hard as I wanted to. But
it's kind of
societies and things like that are great places to go to do the actual research. If you know it's Civil War related, you can go back to, for example, Sherman's memoirs or whoever was in that battle in that area. Look through their memoirs, and in there somewhere they're going to document what happened in that particular place. If you have a cultural resources or whatever they call it in your town, visit them. And a lot of those will tell you that goes beyond American history into Native American history.
Yeah, the Native American stuff's really cool as well. There's quite a bit of that in my area as well. I've been fortunate enough, for your bucket listers, it's like one of the best coins that I found in my area, which is the large cent, and I do have 1/2 cent as well. Those seem to come out of the ground a little bit more often. So I feel fortunate, to hear you say that you haven't found one. It's just like, oh man, that doesn't even sound right.
I know it doesn't. It's weird, but hey, that's the way it is sometimes, right?
Yeah, everybody has a weird nemesis. Mine's a standing Liberty quarter. That's my nemesis. It seems like it's not that old. I just never have been able to pull one out. The only silver quarters we've ever found, or that I found, are Washingtons. Everybody around me's found a few others, a few Barbers and a few SLQs, but not me. Unfortunately, that's the one that haunts me right now. That's what my goal is this year. So getting back to we definitely spend a lot of time on the past, and and I hope you don't mind me taking the opportunity to get to know a few more things about you, because I'm genuinely interested in everybody I bring up here, so I want to learn as much about them as possible. But what do you got? What's in your future? I mean, we're closing in on the end of the night, and what do you think? What's your plans for this year for treasure hunting? Do you got anything big planned? How's it going to play out for you this year?
I'm going to try to do more variety. I'm going to do a little bit more panning for gold and stuff like that. I'm going to do a few more of that in the summertime. So I'm caught in the middle between it's a 4-hour drive to the gold bearing rivers. It's a 3-hour drive to the beach. So I can split my time between the beach and that. And plus there's a lot of old colonial sites and farm fields that I got permission for around here. Another thing that I do on my spare time that I don't really put videos out for is I do have a couple of videos out when I clean the cemetery and the stones and stuff like that. And that was part of getting the permission for the cotton field.
I enjoyed those, by the way.
The cemetery was on the guy's. So I told him that, I'll clean the cemetery up and maintain it and stuff like that. If you let me metal detect, and he goes, yeah, sure. No, go ahead. So I cleaned up the cemetery, made a video of it. And then I was asked by people who visited the cemetery after that if I would come to their church and clean a few stones. So
I thought that was really cool. That was one of your videos that I was really impressed with.
So yeah, I go to the churches and I clean 2 church cemeteries so far and a few stones in another one. I got a town that's nearby that asked me to come and help them repair some stones that were just knocked over from storm damage when a tree limb falls and it falls right on some markers and breaks them. There was one where a car accident happened and he plowed into one of those small roadside cemeteries and broke a few stones. So I had to, well, didn't have to, but I did it, repair those stones and stuff like that. So that's one thing I haven't really been, because it's not metal detective related and I didn't want to get too off the beaten track. But doing off things like that, doing community service, things like that might help you get permissions.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. We've got this, it's kind of funny how situations are the same everywhere. And by the way, Tim says he's looking forward to meeting you at Digstock. I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
That.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to meeting everybody at Digstock.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Tim is another one of the great stand-up guys in the community.
I got my From the Ground Up book. I got both of them.
Heck yeah.
And a lot of is what Chris did for the Ground Up books is in the back. He put pictures of a lot of the YouTube people in here. So a lot of people are going to be bringing this book to the to the Digstock and have them, collect this signatures and stuff like that. So
yeah, man, I need to get books. Get those books.
Yeah, Mike. Tonight's been a true pleasure. I've been meaning to, things worked out really well. I was talking to you in a chat the other day. I can't remember which one, and that and I had a plan. I've got a plan set up for the next couple of weeks. I'm always 2 weeks ahead, and then it just so happened that everything, just didn't work out right. So I was like, because you were on the net, you were the next one on my list to get a hold of. So I'm like, well, I'll just see if he wants to come on this week, and if not, the week after. And it's been really cool. I learned quite a bit. The military stuff I didn't expect. I knew I was kind of fishing there to see if I was going to get anything or not. But that was really awesome. The digging up mines, seems like that would be a very big stress factor right there. What's up, Muscle Show? But I'm gonna give Ken a second or two here. Ken, did you have anything through tonight's questions that you wanted to ask Mike, or you were curious about as we went through here that I didn't get a chance to let you ask?
I was going to ask what your go-to machine is and what your best find was, and you already know about.
Oh, my primary machine is my Garrett AT Pro. I use the Tornado coil for deep seeking, and I got the little hockey puck 4.5-inch coil that I use, and standard coil. My backup machine is the Nocta Macro, just straight out of the box. I got the XLT if I'm looking for relics, because that thing gets stupid deep. I found that Williams cleaner, it was about a little over a foot deep, and
Really?
that thing just like it was like right near the surface. Doot, 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 doot. But the pinpointing function on that thing is second to none.
Really?
The pinpointing function on the Garrett AT Pro, I use the tip of the coil technique because the pinpoint function on it doesn't really work that well.
Mhm.
The Nocta macro pinpoint function is a really good one. It has a really good, and it's got appreciable depth. So it's a good beginner machine. It's a good backup machine. If you're out in an area and your batteries die and you're like, I don't bring any extra batteries, so you got to bust out the backup. You know what I mean?
Gotta have the backup.
Yeah, because at the dig stock, they'll ask you how many detectors you brought.
Oh,
yeah.
You have to register them.
So if they see you out there with the AT Pro and then they see you out there with the macro, they're going to ask you what's up. And the reason why they ask you how many detectors you have is so you can't sneak in a friend.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
That makes sense. That absolutely makes sense.
And they give you this little like a hospital bracelet type thing to wear. And so you got to wear this ID bracelet to detect. And they'll do spot checks.
That's good.
They'll tell you the times that are allowed, like not at night and stuff like that. And they have people out there with FLIR and night vision goggles, and they'll catch people. They caught people
Good.
try to night hawking before the hunt started, and they send them packing. And they say,
Hopefully they don't welcome them back
you're
at
on
all in
notice.
the
If
future.
you come back, we're gonna call the sheriff and then have you arrested for trespassing.
That's good. That's good to know.
So, yeah, they run a tight ship at the dig stocks, but unfortunately, there are a lot of detectorists that visit those that dig their trash and leave their trash on the field right by their holes that they dug. They don't
Or
clean up
rebury
after
it.
themselves. They leave open holes. So, these make me cringe when and I was like, these are people that get the hobby vilified by the general public when they go to a park and they leave open holes and they leave the aluminum can sitting there and stuff like that, So it only takes one. So, if you see somebody out there detecting and you're out in the park, they're not a rival. Just go out there and talk to them. They might not know anymore. So just go out there and talk to them and explain to them, if sometimes they might be another YouTuber, who knows? But if they're just starting out, you got to explain to them how to cut a good plug, how to extract it properly, put it back, leave no trace.
Yeah, really fast. Dig Gun, thank you for stopping back by. I saw you comment on one of my shorts the other day. I appreciate that very much. Let me go ahead and give you moderator status. If you got a channel, you can feel free to promote in here on any Thursday. We welcome everybody that's definitely new, and if they want to promote themselves, they're more than welcome. Mike, I'm going to wrap this thing up. My phone is actually wearing out, and I answered a text message, and it almost closed me down. So I don't want to screw this thing up any further than what we have to. Tanner, apologize. I can't do a race tonight because it would involve me bringing that other camera back up, which is not working. So I will postpone that, but we will do one next week. I guarantee there will be a nice giveaway next Thursday. Mike, feel free to come back. I got a list here, and I got about 8 other topics that I wanted to get to that absolutely did not have the time tonight. So I'd like to have you back sometime, maybe around summertime, and
sure,
we'll do it again.
Absolutely. Sounds like fun.
And
thank you for having me on. I feel honored to be here, man.
dude, it's likewise. I love the community. I love everybody in it, and every time I make a connection, on a personal level, and the stream is a personal level to me that I just always want to. I get more curious about. It's just like it drums up more. So now I'm definitely more into. I'm going to sit and binge me some metal detecting North Carolina videos tonight because I've probably only seen maybe 10 or 15 of your videos. I definitely would never lie about something like that. But
there's some of the older videos right after the first 5 or 6 videos are rough. They're the typical beginning, but I didn't want to pull them because of that. I have to be reminded of where I started from. you know, what the beginning picture was. But as I progressed, you know, things got a little bit better, but I did find some pretty good stuff. And if I could redo some of those videos, I would, just to make them better and not so
well, you
raw
know what you
looking.
could do? You can take them back. If you've got them saved, you can re-edit them. I mean, I know you probably don't have the raw footage, but you can take the video, you can change your editing up a little bit on them and re-release them.
Oh,
I've been clipping videos a lot lately.
yeah, every video that I've posted, I have a 2 terabyte drive, and I have a
nice.
folder for each video, and I got it labeled 001, 002, etc., all the
that's
way up in
perfect.
sequence, how it shows up in the YouTube studio. So I got all
That's
the
cool.
raw footage and all these videos that I have. So yeah, I can go back and re-edit some and re-release a couple of them, or do a greatest hits or something.
You
That's
know,
good to know, because I want to start doing that too. That's great to know. Good tip.
you know, the
Good
other
pro
thing
tip.
is that you know, I've been going back, and I noticed things that I was doing before that I liked better than when I make videos now. When I go rewatch some of my own stuff, and I realized that, you know, that I've done some things that may have taken away viewership. I've done things that's actually degressed instead of progressed, so regressed, whatever the word is. But you know, so I learned from my own old videos. It's
That's
kind
true
of,
too.
you see things that you were doing well for a while, and you can actually track your viewership and see that it kind of changed.
Yeah.
But actually, I'm running at the end. I've got a dog that's ready to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Everybody, I want to thank everybody that's hung out with us tonight. Mike from Metal Detecting North Carolina, please get over and show his channel some love. I'm trying to coerce him back into doing his live stream, because if he puts his live stream back on, it is a very good time with a very diverse crowd. Now the dog is getting yelled at by the wife. Anyway, I wanted to say thanks everybody for putting up with my technical difficulties tonight. These will be fixed very soon. And as always, I appreciate y'all for being here. Ken, any last words tonight, brother?
No, just it can always be in that next hole, man. Whatever it is, it can always be in that next hole. Your bucket list item is probably in that next hole. Just keep digging.
True. Very true.
That's what I'm learning so far. So no last words. That's just
keep on digging.
Yep, keep digging it.
Keep digging.
All right, everybody. Much love to the crowd and community. Be sure you check out Mike and Practical Ken, and I will see you guys next week.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Thank you.